What in the heck is going on at Xbox? It has been the most wild past 48 hours I have ever seen in the gaming industry. When it rains, it apparently pours, because it turns out that everything has been going wrong ever since last week, where Xbox announced their price increase for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and its other tiers over and over again. And even then, the removal of day one games from many of their services unless you get the Ultimate tier at $30 a month. It has been a nightmare and disaster, with Google Trends showing a massive spike and increase in searches for how to cancel Xbox Game Pass, with even then at the same time it getting so bad the website itself crashed for trying to cancel those services. But the thing is, it got worse. No, I'm not kidding. It got exponentially worse over this past weekend, because even more things came back to haunt them. According to Hazardor Gaming, Bloomberg says Xbox's hike on Game Pass shows the cost of lost Call of Duty sales more than $300 million across console and PC last year. Microsoft CFO Amy Hood has asked Xbox to find other ways to increase profit, according to the current and former employees. Now, in that Bloomberg article, basically what's been going on is apparently everybody was shocked and appalled that Call of Duty had less sales on the Xbox platform, but more sales on PlayStation 5 and more sales on PC. Boy, I wonder why that would even happen. What is anyone at Xbox even thinking? What is the CFO even thinking? Of course, you're going to have lower sales on your platform when you offer the game inside of the service. And so what did they do? They don't just want some of the money, they want all of the money. And what happened was, because of the fact that they lost $300 million on sales, this is again just on the sales, not on microtransactions, not on everything else. They turn around and jack up the price, remove COD from all the tiers except for Ultimate, and now you got to pay more money. In fact, to prove me right, here is Matt Piscatella of Circana. On Blue Sky, he said this: "So someone tried to gotcha me here. The game sold extremely well. Was there a platform sales share shift? Yes. Pointed that out in the launch results. I'd argue that the network effect of it on Game Pass resulted in stronger engagement and perhaps even better sales on PS5 and PC because of it. Just because someone made an estimate on lost sales doesn't make it true. Same for estimates on lost sales to piracy or whatever. Did sales on Xbox drop because of the Game Pass launch? Sure, as expected. Did the game as a whole suffer a massive drop compared to previous releases? No, it did not." That little headline by Bloomberg is exactly what's been going on the entire time. I don't know why everybody in this entire gaming industry is literally doing everything they possibly can to shit talk an entire company and corporation that they clearly do not like, that they clearly don't game on, yet they want to have leave the industry. And we'll get to that in just a moment. Trust me, I got a whole bunch of opinions on that entire aspect. But the problem is that the fact that people will take one piece of headline, not see any of the context whatsoever, say, "Oh, Game Pass cannibalizes sales." Yeah, that's the point of a subservice. You pay the subservice instead of buying the game, but that doesn't mean Microsoft lost money. The difference is Microsoft wants all of the money. And if you don't believe me, here's what else they did. According to VGT Gaming News, Microsoft removes DLC discounts for Xbox Game Pass members. This is not specific to any one game and reflects all games and DLC purchases. Instead of discount on the purchases, Ultimate and Premium subscribers will earn 10% and 5% respectively in points when purchasing select games and add-ons from Game Pass library. Ultimate members continue to have 20% discounts on select games from the Game Pass library. On top of that, all rewards members will earn the points when shopping games and add-ons on the store, while Premium and Ultimate subscribers will earn even more, 2 to 4x respectively. Microsoft and Xbox are literally nickel and diming you at every sense of the word. Those discounts you used to get, gone. Now you're getting reward points, which honestly don't mean all, since they capped you consistently and you're already restricted on how much you can earn depending upon your tier of Game Pass. Yeah, they don't want some of the money. They're not starving for it. They're a $4 trillion company. They can clearly afford to give you discounts and more points, but the thing is, they want to make all of the money. And that's what people don't understand. They take a headline like, oh, you lost $300 million, but they don't realize they made a ton more sales off of every other platform and made a ton of money off microtransactions like they always did. They wouldn't put Beavis and Butthead in Call of Duty if it didn't make them a ton of cash, now would they? But of course, when somebody is down, what's better to do than to kick them, am I right? Because look who's back in the picture, Lina Khan. Lina Khan on Twitter said this: Microsoft's acquisition of Activision has been followed by significant price hikes and layoffs, harming both gamers and developers, as we've seen across sectors. Increasing market consolidation and increasing prices often go hand in hand. As dominant firms become too big to care, they can make things worse for their customers without having to worry about the consequences. I have never seen a person so in my entire life. The fact that she's trying to sit here and blame Microsoft and Activision Blizzard for increasing the prices. They didn't do it because of ABK. They did it because they spent $80 billion on AI. They spent more on making AI a big thing than they actually did about ABK. And we're sitting here talking about that in the first place. And I know somebody's going to be like, Alex, you used a whataboutism. That's not how that works. But I'm going to use it. I really don't give a Nintendo, $80 games. Did they have a merger? Did that happen? Oh no, I'm sorry. No, they didn't. They did. No. Nintendo also increased the price of the Switch 1 to make you more palatable to buy the Switch 2. Was that because of a merger? Oh, sorry. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. PlayStation, they increased the price of their consoles twice. They did it twice. They increased it when they released the slim versions, and then they increased it again recently. So that's 2 price hikes in a generation. Was that because of a merger? No. Oh, sorry. No. PS Plus went up in price. Was that a merger? No. Sorry. No. Oh, PlayStation had layoffs too. Was that a merger? No. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this whole weird thing about how Lina Khan thinks that if ABK was blocked, that'd be a good thing for the industry. No. If ABK was blocked, they probably would have liquidated the entire thing, put everybody out in the street, lost all those IPs, and probably sold them out to some other actual investment firm in the first place, controlling them like Embracer did, making them lose that deal, and then selling it off in a fire sale. That would have been even worse, probably. And you know what? I'm not the only one that thinks that. Take a look. Here's Richard Hogue, someone who specializes in video game law, specifically saying this: the next time you feel imposter syndrome, just remember that the former FTC chair continues to bet her reputation, such as it is, on the notion that Microsoft is a, quote, dominant force in US video gaming. In other words, have the faith in your own abilities that Miss Khan mistakenly has in hers. Holy shit. You know what that was? That was the nicest way of insulting someone I have honestly ever seen. The fact that we're sitting here watching actual lawyers who understand the law and the video game industry are telling her, look, clown, that's not the reason why prices went up. And you can't sit there and blame one specific thing because you want to waste taxpayer money on a consistent basis, as the economy itself and every single other gaming publication and publisher and hardware developer has said we're increasing the cost because of market conditions. And the price increases are due to one thing and one thing only: massive corporate greed. They were going to happen whether ABK went through or not. Consolidation would happen whether ABK went through or not. These idiots running around trying to celebrate like, oh, Lina, you were right the whole time. And they're all the exact same idiotic, moronic fanboys you see on Twitter. Has to be incredibly telling now, doesn't it? But the thing is, though, things aren't all good on the front for Microsoft, because it turns out good old bald-headed Satya is on his way out the door. In a memo to employees today, Nadella said he's promoting Judson Althoff, a 12-year veteran of the company, to a newly created role of CEO of the company's commercial business. In his new position, Althoff, who spent the last 9 years leading Microsoft's commercial sales organization, will take charge of the company's engineering, sales, marketing, operations, and finance teams, which account for more than 75% of its total revenue. The reshuffle is designed to consolidate the company's efforts to build and market more business-focused products as it strives to compete against rivals such as Amazon Web Services Inc. and Google LLC, as well as OpenAI and various other AI startups. Nadella will get to spend more time with the company's engineering teams and ensure development heads in the right direction that he wants. So basically, in my opinion, after seeing what's going on with Nadella and everything else in the industry for Microsoft, the price increases and everything else happening, Nadella took an L. The guy's kicked out of the curb. We always talked about how other big CEOs and players were being pushed out of the door. It happened to Sean Layden. It happened to Jim Ryan. And it keeps happening to every other CEO that we see. Oh, guys, he's not let go. He's just taking a different position to focus on something else, which really means he's running the entire fucking thing into the goddamn ground. We've talked about before how Xbox is no longer being run by Phil Spencer. It's Nadella walking through and telling Phil what to do. And the guy's got to go out there and deliver the fucking message to everybody else. And now it's got to be Sarah Bond's turn. But the problem is this entire shift in the actual industry has been causing a lot of outrage and insanity, because now the actual promotion that's been going on, which is the big headline of what's been happening over the past weekend, is that Xbox is done. It's dead. It's leaving the hardware industry. The gaming industry is done. Xbox failed. The experiment is over. Rev up those YouTube videos, baby, because Xbox is finally done. According to Insider Gaming saying rumor, the future of Xbox is software publishing as the next console generation faces doubts. The article says that it's been claimed by a reliable insider that Microsoft is planning some intense changes for the Xbox brand in the coming months. First, it has been suggested that there will be a massive round of layoffs heading into Q1 2026, which is hardly a leap, and that the once concrete plans for the next console generation are now, quote, up in the air and might never materialize. Ah, yes, we're back. We're back in the cycle, baby. Xbox is back, right back into Xbox is dead. This is the biggest problem with this company. For some unknown reason, I don't know what it is about them. Every single 3 months, we always have to get the article, Game Pass kills games and was ruining the gaming industry, even though we're completely ignoring all the free-to-play games and live service products that are happening in gaming right now. But we're only going to focus on Game Pass, am I right? Because why would you even give a company less money for a product? That's stupid. Crazy town. You got to give them full price every single time, am I right? Then we go right back into, oh, Xbox dead. Hardware sales down. Nobody want to buy an Xbox. Then we go into, oh, Costco stopped selling Xbox. Therefore, the whole thing is dead. Only buy PlayStation. And these exact same morons on Twitter talking about financials, thinking they're actually economists, even though what they do is they bag fucking lunches on a daily basis and their entire IQ is below room fucking temp, are trying to go through and be like actual voices in the gaming industry when they don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. And the funniest part about all of that is the entire weekend was set off about Xbox leaving the gaming industry was because of a post on NeoGAF. On NeoGAF, I swear to God, bro. Does anybody know the history of that website at all? According to Sneaker SO saying this, without going too much into detail, not long after the last round of layoffs, the next one should be coming in Q1 26, by the way, and it's going to be just as massive as the last one. Some rumblings out of Xbox starting to come out were a little hard to believe. The ramifications of the COD Game Pass gambit not working out just starting to get properly measured. But the thing they have really stuck out to me was that suddenly, really concrete plans for actual MS Xbox hardware went from being definitive to up in the air, which was really startling given that this thing was meant to be out relatively soon. It was one of those situations where despite folks being told, hey, we want to pull the trigger on this in 2026, the steps you would need to take in the lead up to delivering a new console gen weren't being met. Lots of things that were sure things started getting pushed. The Costco retailer pulling Xbox, and apparently they are one of many that we'll learn about soon, told me all I needed to know. To sum it up, the future of Xbox is software publishing, with significantly honed and focus on profitable IPs, COD, WoW, Minecraft, Candy Crush, Forza Horizon, cloud gaming being the home of the Xbox platform, transitioning Game Pass into basically becoming the point of entry subscription for xCloud access, which will continue to drive its price tag higher, by the way. They aren't done there just yet either, and releasing their software on any device that has a marketplace for users willing to buy their titles. Maybe some OEM thing will take up the Xbox name, but given what is clearly a collapse in the favorable mindshare and faith in said brand, I'm not even sure a third-party OEM is going to want to have an Xbox console by the time MS is done with their reorienting of the division. Now, this one NeoGAF post and the news of Satya Nadella being moved out of that position and Justin Althoff taking over is what started the entire firestorm over the past weekend. People losing their minds saying, oh, Xbox is dead. They're finally leaving the the gaming industry. We were right all along. People huffing their own farts consistently, talking about how right they were about things without even realize the insane ramifications of what it would happen if actually Xbox did in fact truly leave the hardware industry and the actual gaming industry itself. Nobody realizes how bad it would actually be. You think PlayStation has no competition now, releasing one tentpole title a year and then making you pay $830 for a PS5 Pro with a goddamn disc drive? You think that's bad now? Wait till Xbox actually leaves the gaming industry. You think the Switch 2 charging $80 games is bad now? Wait till those companies truly have no competition and all they do is create an oligopoly between each other and everything goes down the fucking shitter right now in the gaming space. You thought you were paying a lot of money now? Just fucking wait, baby. And the funnier part is watching actual fanboys walk around in the gaming space celebrating this and actually talking about things they don't understand. Here's MBG tweeting this. The rumor going around is Justin Althoff is now the one making the quote uncomfortable calls for Xbox and is the person responsible for pulling the plug on the Xbox console. With Tom Warren quote tweeting MBG and saying this. Justin Althoff is the CEO of commercial at Microsoft, which has nothing to do with the Xbox division, led by Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer. If you're gonna make shit up, at least make it believable. And then MBG deletes the tweet. This is what I'm talking about. This is the shit that you have to deal with on the internet, is actual clowns and morons with below room temp IQ who think you actually are supposed to put pennies inside of penny loafers are the kinds of people creating all this bullshit in the gaming space. And these are the guys people listen to. With like pure unadulterated facts and all that bullshit that we see all the time, because it is honestly so fucking insane. Now at the actual point in time where Xbox has all this other bullshit to deal with increasing the prices and doing it in the worst fucking way possible, now a post from fucking NeoGAF of an insider, of a leaker who's gets some things right but also gets some things wrong, is an actual rumor saying Xbox is dead, baby. Spin up those channels, get those videos out. Everybody get the engagement, because clearly that's what's happening right now. And honestly, nobody knows what's happening. Nobody knows what's happening. But what I do know is when a player leaves the space, that's when things get worse for everybody. Lena Khan. That's when actual consolidation happens, when there's less competitors in that space, not less publishers, less actual hardware competitors providing different ways of actual competition. That's where the issue is. Not about buying ABK. It's about the fact that if Xbox does leave the gaming industry, everybody is fucked, because you have one of two choices now. You got PlayStation if you want to play on a console, so get ready for $900 boxes, by the way. That's going to be a fun one. Or you got the Switch, which at the same time, get ready for them to brick your shit and to buy a second one, because they're going to brick that one too. So this entire rah-rah cheering bullshit about a company that you don't even game on, that you don't even like, that you're celebrating to go away, is honestly the stupidest thing to possibly do. But the thing is, there's more to this, because more stuff came out apparently. Daniel Ahmad on Twitter said this: every few months there are rumors that Xbox will exit the hardware market, but this announcement was 3 months ago, and my opinion, do expect them to continue releasing dedicated gaming hardware. It just won't be the closed ecosystem boxes that we've seen before. And that is exactly what I think is going to be happening too. I really feel like the console wars are basically over. Sure, PlayStation and Nintendo, good job, guys. You won that $150 million. Way to go. Microsoft and Xbox don't care about that anymore. What they care about is the encroaching doom of what's happening right now with Steam. If you haven't noticed, SteamOS has been making massive leaps and jump in the operating system space, having a lot of people convert from Windows to purely Linux, and Proton has been doing incredibly well, removing people from the Windows ecosystem. Remember, 1.6 billion Windows users are far bigger than 150 million consoles. And all you guys thinking about small Ps and small pods are literally not even in the actual spec of bullshit that Microsoft wants to pull off in this space. What Microsoft wants is total platform control. They don't care about consoles. That's fucking small. Think bigger, you morons. What they want is now a platform war. And what they're doing by purchasing ABK is having the content for that platform. Why do you think they increased the price of Game Pass? Not because it's a failure, but because they feel they can charge you more money for that service, and you'll pay it because the IP is in that platform. That's why. It's not a market condition play. It's a greed play. It's a we're going to nickel and dime you play. That's why the rewards points are capped. That's why the DLC discounts are gone. Nobody, like, people talking about console sales don't get the actual point. And everybody's been having an entire conniption fit trying to figure out like what's going to be happening over the weekend. And it turns out your boy Destin and Jez Corden had to make a couple of phone calls. Jez on Twitter saying this: update, Microsoft has responded to our requests for an update on the status of Xbox hardware. Disclaimer, Microsoft has provided the following statement echoing our previous report, saying, quote, we are actively investing in our future first-party consoles and devices designed, engineered, and built by Xbox. For more details, the community can revisit our agreement announcement with AMD. So there you go. All that bullshit, all that garbage everybody had to deal with over the weekend with all these idiotic fanboys cheering about the death of a platform that they have no idea would cause a massive gaping hole. That's what she said, inside the gaming industry, and made things worse for them completely, also stopping them from having any kind of gaming conversation on the actual internet in the first place, because we all know the only thing PlayStation fanboys even talk about is Xbox, by the way, because that's really what it is. That's all they talk about. It's crazy how a brand that they don't like is the only brand they talk about in the first place, which is really funny to see, by the way. And as of right now, they are still, in fact, making the next generation of consoles. They have partnered with AMD in what I would consider to be, or think to be, a multi-billion-dollar agreement with that actual chipset provider. You don't just throw that away because you had bad sales on Call of Duty. That's my guess. And my real guesstimation of what's going to be happening is Xbox will, in fact, at some point leave the hardware space. But what they're going to be doing instead is actually releasing out third-party OEM devices with other manufacturers, like we saw with the Asus ROG Ally. And that's actually, in my opinion, going to be better for you as a user. Imagine that, having access to your entire library of Xbox through the actual use of Windows, and then going around and having the choice and ability to choose what device is best for you, and having actual competition between different providers of hardware. It's almost like it'd be the exact same thing as if moving to PC. They've just turned every Xbox user, all 30 million of you guys, into PC gamers. That's what happened. That's what happened. That's it. That's pretty much there it is. And if they do it right, of course, that's the big if, by the way, if they do it right, and the next console is in fact a PC that is an open platform, that will be good for the user overall. Because then you can say, hey, Xbox, suck my I'm not paying for Game Pass. You can kiss my ass and see yourself the fuck out of here and install whatever you want on that open piece of hardware and device, and have access to every game, every PlayStation game with a branded Xbox device having the fucking button on it. And that will make everybody on the internet even angrier, because then you can play their exclusives on any branded device, seeing as how, you know, at some point PlayStation will in fact copy Xbox, because all they know how to do is copy in the first place and put their games onto every single PC platform day and date. And when it happens, that's going to be even funnier, because what's not sustainable isn't Game Pass. What's actually unsustainable in the gaming industry is the industry itself. But I want to know what you guys have to say about this entire thing in the comment section down below. Is Xbox leaving the gaming industry? Are they staying? Is hardware going away? Is hardware staying? Who honestly knows? But I want to hear, like I said, what you guys have to say. And if you liked today's video, thank you. And if you didn't like it, fuck you. If you want to see more of this kind of content, though, more PC port reviews, gaming news, Steam Deck videos, fanboy content, live streams every Saturday night, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 95,000 subs, and I just want to say thank you guys so very much. If you want Discord access or emotes during live streams, become a YouTube member. It's as low as $1. Sync your YouTube account to Discord, refresh it, the server will pop up, follow the rules, and you'll be good to go. If you don't want to spend the buck, don't sweat it. Just show up Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live right here on this channel as we get insane while 800 people insult me using AI TTS while I wear a banana suit. You don't want to miss it. Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live right here. Trust me, you'll have a great time. With all that being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you gooners next time. Peace!